Right guys, what I'm going to do in this video is tell you what it's like to live like a Victorian. Going to the toilet, getting warm, drying clothes, etc, etc. However, this is not one of those videos where it's a case of I dress like a Victorian, my house is all done up Victorian, I go and get the antiques. That's not what I'm talking about, but it is just as interesting and reminds me of when I was a kid. I was born in 1978 in a poor place called Oldham, and we lived like it was the 1950s, even though it was the 1970s, 80s. We clearly lived like the 50s, 60s, just because it was an old mill town. So why am I living like a Victorian? Well, basically, we're doing up two barns, me and my girlfriend with her in-laws, and we've had to bring static caravans in. Now, we're on a budget, of course, so we've got the barns, just the shells, and we have to build all of the insides, the roofs, the glass, the windows, everything. So we've got to save all the money we can. So we bought two caravans, one for her and the kids, and one for me and my office, and she comes over at night and sleeps with me, but I basically work here in my office. Now, the problem is we bought cheaper caravans because they were probably, for a winterized caravan, it was probably 3 times the price. So we went for a summer caravan, which of course we've got to do through 2 or 3 English winters. So it's single pane glass. There's no insulation. We've had to put open fires in them, or, log stoves as burners in there to sort of to warm it, because we don't want to be hammering through gas. So every spring or pre-spring, end of winter, I'm chopping wood, I'm sawing wood, I'm then splitting wood, and we're leaving it out to be leached. And then come spring, we scatter it about or stack it up or get it in the right place, let the sun throughout all the summer go on it. We've done 1 year of this, by the way, and then we put it in the storage, and then that runs us for all of the winter, and we have outdoor barbecues, etc, etc. So now we plumbed her caravan in with toilets and shower and everything, but to be honest, we didn't really want the extra cost of buying all the plumbing kit and all that to go into the septic tank to put the second caravan. So I thought, well, if I need a shower, I'll just go over there and get a shower. But of course, living with the 3 girls in there, I don't often get to go in there. And so what I've got here is my log burner has a water heater on the top, and I heat water through wood, and it gets warm, and I put that in a hot water bottle, and sometimes I basically just put I fill up a steel tub, and I wash myself like a steel bath, and then you get out into the cold, and it is freezing. Honestly, you can be at -2 or something like that. So it ends up with smokiness inside the caravan because the draw's not going up the chimney, so it's all coming back into the caravan. We have to open the windows in the freezing rain and get the smoke out. Your clothes then smell of smoke. This, of course, is not piped in, and so I've got myself a compost toilet. So basically, and it's outdoors. So if I need to go to the toilet, I have to go all the way out of the caravan, round out into the other barn, and go to a toilet tent, which it doesn't look very Victorian, it's very modern, just like a tent with a composting toilet in it, and I go to the loo there. But both me and my girlfriend have to go to the bathroom for the other one, number ones, just urination out of the back. So sometimes it can be lashing with rain, and we have to get up, go outside, sometimes stark naked, because depending on, like, you've got the hot blankets on and everything, and sort of, the hot bottles in the blankets, sort of like, and we've got 3 or 4 blankets going on. As the night gets on, you get more and more sort of like hot when you're with each other. It's cold out there, but the bed's warm, so you sort of like semi-dressed, and you have to go out in the rain and go to the toilet, both of us, and then come back in and just like wipe off the rain. So there is basically, we're using outhouses. I did use a piss pot. I've not got a pot to piss in and all that. I did actually use one, but it just stinks the caravan out, so it's a bit pointless. So I assume in Victorian times, you sometimes see in the dramas they put cloths over them. I'm wondering if that's to stop the smell. It wasn't bad, but it was a bit much. If it gets on a warm night, it's not good, and then you empty it in the morning, wash out and go back. So I chop my own wood. I live with single glazing. It gets damp. It, of course, has no insulation, so it is as cold outside as it is inside, unless you've got the fire on. We have no toilet inside. I use a compost toilet, and I chop my own wood and source my own fuel. So basically, I'm living off-grid in the sense, except for electricity. I do have some little hand lights, we've got storm lanterns, but we very rarely use them because we've got modern solar panelled lights there. But we are hooked up to electric for this main light, but we have a gas cooker. So sometimes we cook on the thingy, but sometimes we cook on gas. Victorians had gas and they had open fires. But that is basically, guys, how it is like to live. It gets cold. Also, medicate. People say, well, we live in a world of, you know, modern medicine. Now, luckily, I've not been that ill, but I had no COVID jabs. I didn't take a single one, and I had COVID 4 times, and my girlfriend from one point thought I was dying. But also I've had a couple of issues at the doctors. I went and got some blood taken, but they're just useless. You know, now with the NHS at the minute, it's so overrun. I don't know why, immigration, COVID, all these excuses, whatever it is, I don't really care. You can't get in to see them. They just fob you off, and there's nothing going on. So basically, we have almost no medical cover, unless, like, luckily in England, it will get you if you have an accident, cut your finger off, or, you know, a real fall, you will actually get taken to hospital. But actually getting an appointment with the doctors and getting seen for any reason and getting anything out of them is almost impossible nowadays in the English. When I was a child, it was okay. You could go to the doctors, get it sorted, no problem. You'd be in the morning, you'd be out half an hour later, done, prescription in hand. But that doesn't happen anymore. So there you go, guys. That's what it's like to live as a Victorian. It's cold, it's damp, it's shivery, but you know what? I wouldn't change it for the world. Now, when we build these barns, I want to make them. I used to live in a Welsh cottage, which had no central heating, double glazed windows, but wooden frames, and I had a big inglenook fire, and it was amazing. And basically, it was lovely. You just got the fire going, you get your boots by the fire, you can smell the wood smoke, you can smell the wet dog hair, but your house is warm because you're burning a fire inside of it, and it was just awesome. And it's really, really, really nice to sort of have that understanding of the seasons. You're like, oh wow, the first, like, you've checked the equinoxes all the time, and the oh god, come on Anthony, solstice, or the solstice and the equinox you're looking forward to see the weather change. You're looking at the leaves all the time. You know when the cold months are coming. We grow our own veg, or we started growing our own veg, so we didn't do loads, but we got our own veg going, and we started to use seasonal veg, and it's fresh and you're eating out of the ground, and it's really good. I'm going to get onto some other stuff next year, but it was really nice, guys. So if you want to help us out in this build, get yourself a copy of Tolkien's World, which is my book on Tolkien. The ultimate unofficial guide to Tolkien's World would really help me. And if you like samurai stuff, I run another channel called Samurai Ninja History, and the Book of Bushido is one of my main books. Right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe and pass this video around. Let me know in the comments below, have you lived like that? As I say, when I was born earlier on, we lived pretty much like that, except for we had gas fires and not wood fires because they just gone out in the 60s. All right, see you later, guys.